Well, here we are. We got to do our workout. I know it's been kind of a crazy weekend. Not really that crazy, but you know what I mean if you've been watching the last few videos. You guys met Aracita. I hope you liked her. She's intense. She's an intense Texan gal. Yeah, let's get into the workout because it is Monday and we are going to do our workout together. So let's get into it and then we can talk a little bit about what happened and I guess sort of the lessons that we are learning from this here situation. All right, let me just grab the kettlebell and let's get into it. And then we'll talk about it. We'll talk about all of the happenings now that we are back in the safe confines of Maryland. All right, let's get going here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, I was a little worried about kind of stepping away from this because for the last 40 plus days, everything had been really contained to this, to being here, to avoiding temptation, just minimizing that exposure, if you will, and keeping a very controlled environment. So, my routine and my things and, my state of mind was just confined to here. And that obviously made it very manageable. But I was a little worried about what stepping outside of this comfort zone would do in terms of my approach to this, I guess, mentally. So let's get another set in. Oh, I forgot to do, I forget to do this thing. Luckily, it was only the first one. It happens quite a bit. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20, let's get another guy out here. And so, okay, let's just take it, I guess, one day at a time. So we get to Texas, and first night, I had breakfast here. You guys saw it. Then we go down to the Cherry Blossoms. It was nice. Didn't eat anything. Then I got to the airport, and again, long flight. I was flying the middle seat in Spirit. And I don't know if you guys have flown Spirit Airlines, but it is not the most comfortable. I mean, airplanes in general are not comfortable anymore unless you're paying for the upgrades and stuff and having a nicer seat, but not very comfortable in general. And the middle seat is the least comfortable of them. And then something really interesting happens. And I don't know if you guys have experienced this, some of you who might be of the bigger persuasion as myself. Let me do another set and we'll talk about it some more. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. When you're traveling with someone, and especially nowadays the seats are narrow and we are wide, and there's basically no dividers, you end up like touching people. Now, if you're traveling with someone that you know, you can both sort of like lean into each other, and that helps a little bit. But I was in the middle, and I didn't know the people on either side, and we weren't all like, I think I was the bigger one of the three, but still, you know, these were not small people per se, not like a child or something. And so you're sort of touching the whole time, but you don't want to be like leaning into the person. So the whole time I'm trying to hold my legs from like relaxing too much and going into the other person's space. And so that makes it so that you're sort of tense the entire time. Like at no point do you actually relax, which is like, even if I was traveling by myself, which happened on the way back, if you're on the window seat or the aisle, you have in the window, you can put your weight into the wall, into the window. And so that way it kind of takes, you can relax into it and takes the weight off of this side. Or if you're in the aisle, same thing, you can sort of like relax towards the aisle. And yeah, sometimes it's uncomfortable because for me, it's like if I fall asleep or something, and then, it's so narrow that everybody's like hitting you in the shoulder. But again, it's a little, you're not tense trying to hold your weight from going into the other person. But in the middle, you're fucked. And so the whole time I was a little tense. And so my butt hurt and I was a little tense. And by the time we got to Texas, it was hot, I was tired. And then we got to the hotel, and the only thing like right there that wasn't like a drive at that point was the Cracker Barrel. And we said, all right, fuck it, let's just have that. And we got there, and like that, it wasn't that bad, honestly, that meal. It's a little late and all that, but I definitely needed to eat something. And so I did it, and I wasn't the only one who needed to eat. So it's, eventually I just did it, but that wasn't that big a deal. So far, Friday night, we're good. Let me get another set in. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Then, okay, Saturday. We get up, the hotel has breakfast. So I figure, all right, let's just start the day well and get something in us so that we have the strength to do all the activities and stuff. And so we go, breakfast, hotel breakfast hotel. The breakfast at the hotel, there wasn't much. I mean, there was a lot in terms of like pure empty carbs. So like fruity cereals and bagels and waffles and like all that stuff. And there was a tiny bit of like those overcooked scrambled eggs, and the sausage, and some of the potatoes. So I thought, okay. And again, it wasn't terrible. It was just, something that I could have, and that was fine. And then, same thing, we go out to lunch. It's Texas, we wanted the barbecue, and those tacos seemed really good. And so I thought, okay, I only had the potatoes for breakfast. I can accommodate, again, we're splurging a little bit. And so I had that. You guys saw the lunch. Again, that wasn't that bad. Honestly, I feel like it could have ended there. Like that, I didn't really need to eat anything else for the day. And that would have, I didn't actually track all this stuff, but I felt like that could have ended there. But then my brother wanted to go out to the Oh My Gogi, and I said at first, I don't know that I should go. And I said, well, fuck it, I'll go with you. And then you get there, and then you're tempted, and at that moment, that's when that temptation, and I want to say peer pressure, I don't want to put it on him, but, just you're in there in the moment, and everybody's having a nice time, and It's like, fuck it, I want some of those. And those are really good. I mean, we're talking bulgogi tacos. It's like the best fucking fusion that could ever be invented. So good. And so there was enough of a pull. And, you know, if you guys watched the other that Saturday video, we had been having this conversation. And here he is, you know, he's lost so much weight and he's doing it really in a healthy way. You know, and he's indulging a little bit, and he's like, you know, we're in Texas. How often are we in Texas? You know, and just kind of like went with that. But that's the first thing that sort of, for me, like opened that Pandora's box. It opened that. All right, let me get another set, and we'll continue. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. All right. We're halfway there, guys. We got this. Halfway there. Okay, so that was that. So then, by the time I got to bed, I was like, I do feel kind of full. Maybe I shouldn't have had that. And then that's when the doubts come in, because on the one hand, and this is a part that just gets really tricky, and I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. On the one hand, you have this sort of satisfaction of like, oh, that was good, and you feel full, and but then on the other hand, you just feel that guilt of like, I really shouldn't have done that. And I was thinking about you guys, and I took the picture to talk about it, but I wanted to be a little more consistent. This is also actually something else that I didn't realize was just outside of this cocoon, it's hard to do this. Like taking a moment, like you're socializing, you're with people, you're doing things, and like taking a moment to like do this, you know, like talk to you guys. I'm sure that eventually I'll figure out a way, you know, to accommodate these situations. But again, because most of this I've been doing from the safe confines, as Aracita said, safe confines of my Maryland homestead. It's a lot easier than when you're, you know, distracted and in a different environment and you feel self-conscious. I still feel so self-conscious doing this in public. I clam up completely. So, you know, feeling a little guilty about that and thinking about it and saying, all right, well, you know, tomorrow, let's just get through tomorrow, and then I'll get to Maryland, and basically we'll do a debrief when I get to Maryland, and it'll be good tonight. So then Sunday, all right, hold on, let me do another set, and then we keep going. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. And so I said, okay, let's get through it. So Sunday comes, I say, fuck it, I'm gonna skip the breakfast, and that's it. We'll go, probably have some barbecue for lunch. I'll make sure that this time I keep it strictly to like proteins, and that's it. And so I thought that's a good plan. Get on the plane, go home, and then we're home and we're safe. And I think that's partially what the problem was. This idea, this mentality of like, oh my God, I can't look to the sides. You know, I'm like a horse in the middle of war. Just like, I gotta close my eyes because if I look at something, and being in that or feeling that vulnerable, like somehow we gotta work on that, because that feeling that vulnerable, like you got to close your eyes because if you look in any direction, you're going to break. That's already, like at that point, I don't know if it's hopeless, but that's basically what it felt like. So I was banking on that. And then my brother says, you know, I really don't feel like having barbecue. And he said, you know, I love Halal Guys. He mentioned it the day before. If you guys don't know what Halal Guys is, it's another sort of like fast foody, but like Middle Eastern-y. It's the thing that started in New York. I remember when I was younger and spent a lot of time in New York City. They used to call it chicken and rice, and it's like this cart. But anyway, It's basically Mediterranean, like Mediterranean food. And he said, like, you know, they don't have this in Indiana. And, you know, like, I've been craving it. Do you mind if we go there for lunch? And I was like, how can I say no to this? And so, and I thought, well, it's kind of like kava, you know, it's like Mediterranean-y type thing. All right. 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. And so we go there for lunch. And again, not terrible, but I was already feeling it, feeling more and more out of control. And so we get there and I get my platter, have lettuce, have rice, you know, like all the thing. And then my brother got like fries and falafel. And I'm like, stay away from it, stay away from it. And he's like, have you tried the falafel? It's really good. I'm like, fuck. I tried a piece of the falafel. It's really good. Fucking falafel is delicious. And then I try a fry and it's opening the monster. It's happening. It's happening. We finish there, go to the airport, and at the airport, there's a lot of food, there's a lot of temptation. Then, you know, so I was already kind of like in the airport going like this. I don't want to look, I don't want to look. Because even though I had just had lunch, the monster was pretty much alive at that point. And so I'm not looking, I'm covering my eyes, basically get on the flight. And now flying Spirit on the way there, no problem. They fucking charge you to go to the bathroom if, you know, they can. So they weren't giving out anything. But on the flight back, I flew United, and I forgot the fucking legacy carriers in the US still give you refreshments. They still serve the fucking refreshments on the plane. And so I was like, oh, this is difficult. And they get to me, and the choice was pretzels or chocolate chip cookie. And I could have said no. I mean, I understand that. I know that one. I could have said no. Let me do another set. Oh, I forgot to put this guy in there. Ooh. 1, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. So I could have said no, and I said, let's go with the salt. Let's go with the pretzels, because at least it's not carbs and plus sugar, but just the carbs. So I got the pretzels, and I said, and a club soda. We don't have any club soda. Can I offer you some tonic water? Fuck you, lady. Tonic water is laden with sugar too. So then the guy next to me is like, oh, just have a Coke. God damn it. But you see what's happening. Like, all of this thing is avoidable. You're just like, oh, I'm okay. I won't have anything. But that moment, oh, it's happening. It's already happening. It's already in here. The monster wants to get out. And he says, fuck it, I'll have a Coke too. So then I'm sitting there, drinking my Coke, eating my pretzels, feeling like, you know, I was partially feeling like shit, and the other part of me was like, oh, this is so delicious. And so at that moment, everything was brewing. Everything was brewing. Everything was happening. And yeah, it was just, at that point, it was just a lost cause. I get home and I basically made a deal with myself. I said, you know, it's sort of like we sat down face to face with the monster. I don't know if you guys heard of a book, blanking on the name of the author. It's called Feed Your Demon. It's really good. Yeah, at that point, it was just face to face with my demon, and we made a pact. Said, I know you've been eyeing that Mickey D's for a while. Somebody mentioned it the other day in one of the comments, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, that's good. So anyway, I made a deal with myself, and I said, you know, you're tired. It was a long weekend. You're exhausted. Let's get home. Let's get some late night Mickey D's. It's kind of like, you know, a small break The last few days before going to Texas were difficult. I was feeling kind of burned out, like all the things, right? And we do this, and then tomorrow we're back at it. So I did. And so what did I get? I got a Big Mac, fries, drink, and chicken nuggets. It's a massive meal to have at like basically midnight or like 11 p.m. or something like that. And so, of course, I didn't sleep that well. Wake up the next morning. Now, this is the part where it gets tricky, actually. Before I continue, let me do another set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 90. So today is Monday for you guys, but for me, it's Tuesday. Yes, I am coming from the future. It's Tuesday for me. I'll explain to you why in a minute. So Sunday night, got back from Texas, have massive meal, don't sleep really well. And on top of that, I have sort of been having this system, right, that we have been very diligently following. And over the weekend, I fell behind in like filling out all my stats and things and blah, blah, blah. And I know that some of you are going to say like, well, that's where you went wrong, JJ. Why are you making it so complicated? Yeah, I see your point, and it makes perfect sense. Tell that to my head and see if it'll cooperate. But anyway, so I fell behind on filling out all my stuff and like doing that. And I thought, okay, well, tomorrow I'll just get up and get caught up in all of the things, right? Forgot to do this again. So I get up in the morning and I come up here and I sit down and I'm doing all the tracking and all the system stuff on Notion. Notion is an app. It's like a Swiss Army knife of productivity apps type of thing. And of course, fucking Notion is having a major outage as I sit down and do my thing and nothing is working. Fuck me, right? And so I started wasting time, procrastinating a little bit. Like at this point, I've deviated from the system. Didn't have the best sleep, so I'm waking up, I'm feeling bad about what I did the night before, feeling like, how am I going to tell you guys, blah, 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 all that. And then the fucking thing doesn't work. And then in those moments that are still very precarious for me, it's when the demon comes out again and he says, you're tired. You could really use another break, man. How about this? I'll tell you this. You guys, you go ahead and get caught up on your things. We'll pretend that today is just another day, that, we're still not back to it yet. We'll pretend it's just another day. We go out, have a delicious dinner, and he says it really quick, like I just won't pick up on it. We'll go out and have a delicious dinner, and then tomorrow everything will be back to normal, and we can just like get into it, just do it again. Yeah, so that's what happened. So yesterday, I basically spent the day getting caught up, kind of going through the footage, putting the videos together. I had other work stuff to do, and doing all of that. We will go out to dinner, have another sort of big dinner. Still, there was a lot of protein, but it was another Tex-Mex meal. So tortillas, rice, and beans. I don't know. Seems like I can't escape it. I mean, of course I can, but. And so here we are. I figured today is Tuesday. We're not going to skip the workout because I made a promise to you guys and we're trying to figure this out. And this is a small enough commitment that we can't skip it. Everything else we do course correction, but we're going to try to not skip this one. So today is Tuesday. For you guys, it's Monday. So we're doing the workout on the day we're supposed to do it. But for me, it's Tuesday. So I'm going to finish the workout and I am going to finish the video here and then go down and we'll start a new video for Tuesday and then we'll be caught up. I was racking my head about how to do this and that's basically what I came up with. This is what happened. Let me do my final set and then we'll do the final debrief from what happened. 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 8, 9, 100. Done, you guys. Another workout done. But that's what happened. I, broke. Now, in the past, this would have been enough to send me, one day would spill into another, and that day into another. The way that it started happening little by little, and then Sunday spilled into Monday. And I woke up this morning feeling like, if we could stretch it one more day. It's incredible how powerful that part is, that the mental game. And so, again, for anyone out there who has dealt with the same things, please know that I feel you. The mental portion of this is the most difficult, and it can snowball very quickly. And it's not as easy as some people say. And again, I was also talking to someone in the comments because he was saying like, oh, this person is giving bad advice. And I think that both people probably have very good intentions. I know they do. But it's just different for everyone. Every single person is different. And what worked for someone will not work for the other person. Not just like technically, physically, like, yeah, if we follow this. But it's not as easy to just follow that in your head. That mental battle is the most difficult of it. Like that's the trick to weight loss, basically. Mental health, that's the trick to weight loss. And so just know that if you've struggled with the same thing, it happens to everybody. And in a way, I'm glad that it has happened to me, because now I have fallen and I'm learning how to get up again. Because in the past, when I fell, I stayed the fuck down for a long time until then eventually someone or something, or even myself, but way, way, way down the road, picked myself up. So I guess I'm glad it happened. I got you guys here. So for you, today is Monday. We're going to end the video here, and then I'm going to go downstairs and start today's video. So it's Tuesday. This is the external accountability. This is how we keep making gains, is, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We've taken a step, maybe 2 steps back this time, or 3 steps back, but we're getting back on it. And so we're gonna do it. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate you. Thank you for the workout. We did it. Now let's go and eat some food. See you tomorrow.